Hey, today I'm going to give you an update on how the airplane is going, but more importantly, I'm going to show you some basic metal shop skills. A lot of you probably have not had the opportunity to take a metal shop class like I was able to do in high school. Unfortunately, those have been the victim of budget cuts in schools. But so this is a good example. So when you're building an airplane, you probably assemble it and disassemble it 10 times and rebuild it 3 or 4 times to get everything perfect. Here's a good example. So I have my electrical panel done, the control panel done, but there's some things I didn't like, so I'm going to redo it. Basically, for the ignition, I had a key switch. I can show you that later, but I didn't like it. It was too finicky, and I want to replace the key switch to start the engine with just a good old-fashioned push-button switch. And for the ignition, just basic toggles. Simple. So I have to redo the panel. There's holes in the panel, and so this is the plate I'm going to replace and put over the hole in the panel. Now, you might think, what's the big deal? It's just a piece of metal with holes in it. I can do that. Well, it's a lot harder than you think. Let me show you some of the first problems you encounter when you're trying to drill. So, you know, it's important, get this up again. You want everything in nice lines and evenly spaced, right? Okay, so let's say I'm gonna start drilling here. Let me get you a little closer so you can see. Okay, so I want to drill a hole on X marks the spot right there. So you put the drill on, and what's going to happen? It goes all over. Trying to get the hole in the right place is critical. So we're going to start with this. This is a punch. The way it works, it's spring-loaded, so you go push, 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 and it goes BAM! And that puts a little, I don't know if you can see that, but it puts a little indentation right there. And that is enough for the drill bit to grab and go right in the middle of the hole. So that is the first cool thing I'm going to show you. So it's just a mechanical punch. It's freezing cold in here, by the way. Okay, so we've drilled our hole. Now, let's say I have this big thing that I want to put in this little hole. Now, if I started off with this monster bit, there's no way I could accurately get this hole placed. You need a pilot hole, like this little hole I drilled right here. So, you know, okay, why don't you just stick this in here and drill it? Well, I'm not going to do it because not only does it make a huge mess, the drill wanders all over. It'll never be follow the center. And besides, it's really dangerous because it can grab the metal and rip this out of your hand and slice your hand off. Not pretty. So the next tool I'm going to show you, this, you know, metal working is not that tough, but there's all these specialty tools that do amazing things. You know, whoever invented them is a genius because honestly, I wouldn't have thought of them. So let's take this, for example. This is a step drill. Now you might say, what the hell is that? Well, this is an amazing little piece of equipment. What it does is it enlarges a hole, but keeps it in the perfect center. It's pretty amazing. So let me show you how this works. So we have our pilot hole already. We put our little step drill in. I have a number of these because they're so cool. Okay, you don't want to do it that fast. This is a slow process. So let's see if I can get you closer so you can actually see. I will get to progress on Dottie in a second, by the way. Hold on. Okay, so you see there's the hole. Smooth as silk, and it enlarges the hole. And that's what I did to create all these holes. So I put them on, I laid it out. Actually, let's talk about layout. That's really important too. Okay, so one of the most important tools for layout is a basic metal square. And the reason this is so important, it's really easy to lay out. So say for example, see how these corners are laid out perfectly? What you do, you set the square the distance you want it in from the side, and then all you do is use the square, and where's my scroll? So you use the square to hold it there, you mark a line, you put it this way, you mark a line here, and you do that all the way around, and you can see very light scribe lines everywhere on this plate. That's how I laid this out, is using the square to make sure everything is perfect. It's also how I cut this piece of metal. Now let's talk about cutting metal. You might think, oh, cutting metal is no big deal. Well, it's not. So, you know, you get your snips. Ah! Okay, you got your metal snips. Let's see some of the problems you have when you use metal snips. Sorry, okay. So we want to cut a perfect rectangle. How do we do that? Okay, well, we lay out a line and then we start cutting. So, now it's easy when you're cutting a little distance like there, but if you're cutting into the middle, what happens is the middle of the shears get in the way and you can't cut anymore, and it starts bending the metal. You get these curly cues that get in the way, and it just becomes a big mess. The worst part is it just distorts the metal to pieces. So this is okay for little cuts, but here's a better tool. This has more mechanical advantage. I like those. But if you really want to have a distortion-free cut, this is the beast you want. So it's a triple blade there. And what it does is the two sides support it while the other part cuts. So let me see if I can show you how this works. Let's see. Let me just get a piece here. It's a little tough to show the camera. Okay, here. So see how it just curls it up between the two blades? That's really, so this can cut all the way across the piece without causing much distortion. But you'll notice still, so see how that piece is bent up there? It's still not perfect. So if you want an absolutely flat, square, beautiful cut, what you need is another piece of equipment. This can also double as a weight for your weight room. Let's see if I can show you this. Hold on. Okay. This is what it looks like. This is a multiple function piece of equipment here. So you can roll pieces of metal to make you could make a tin can with this. You can roll it into a circle. You can bend metal and you can cut metal. So it's a break and a shear. This is actually really heavy. This is probably 150 pounds. But it's awesome, and it's not as expensive as you would think. Let me show you how this puppy works. So how do I do this so you can see? Hold on. Okay. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me move it down so you can see a little better. Okay, so here's the handle that makes it go. So what I'm going to do, first, I'm going to mark where I want to cut. That's important. So there's the hole we made earlier. So let's say I want to cut right there. So I'm going to scribe equally. So I'm going to put a scribe there. Put a scribe there. Now I have the two lines to cut on. What I do, this is like a guillotine. So I'm going to put this in. Actually, it's hard to see in there, so I find it helps if I put a black dot on the line so I can find it. Okay. That's not good. So you line it up perfectly. And then this is the shear portion. So it's going to go, this is a safety bar to keep your fingers out. So you get it down and pow! Pretty awesome. Let me show you that. And it's an absolutely perfect cut. So there we have, there's our hole, these two perfectly beautiful edges. While I have this here, let me show you the bending function. Now, say you wanted to bend this 90 degrees up. You could do that with pliers, but it's going to look really nasty. If you wanted to make a box out of this, that's probably the first project that we did in Metal Shop, was we had to make a metal box. So it involved cutting and riveting and drilling, soldering, all of the above. But let me show you how to bend this. So you just simply, well, we're going to make our line because we always need a line. Okay, so there's the line. You just put it in. I have to get these things out of the way so I can push the handle down and actually break it. So see, it's bending, bending, bending. And there you go. So you just bend it as much as you want. And look at that, it's an absolutely beautiful bend. Okay, so now back to, let's do something real here. So I've showed you like how I lay this out, how I drill the holes. Now I need to install this, and I need these holes, mounting holes, to match what's in the panel. So I'm going to show you a really cool trick. So I've already showed you the step drill. We're going to be using that again in a minute. So this is my number 30 drill. That's going to be very important in a second. Okay, now let's go see Dottie. Those of you that don't know, this is Dottie. For obvious reasons, that's the name of my bird here. Okay, you can see the engine is making good progress, but I want to show you the panel here. Hold on. Okay, so here is the panel. It's almost working, but here's the part I'm redoing. I did not like the way this was laid out. So let's see if I can, Where can I put this? Hold on. Okay, yeah, you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so let me ask you this. How would you do? Oh, you can't see me. Dagnabbit. Hold on. Really? That's a problem with these. Okay, now you can see me. So here's the problem. I need to put this right here, and I need all these holes to line up perfectly. I can't be having them slop around. We don't do slop in aviation. So I have one hole there. How do I make all the others perfect? Well, let me show you. There's this cool little thing called a Clecco. Here's the wrench, and you'll see when I squeeze it, let me see if I can show you. See how it looks like a science fiction monster with a jaw. But what it does, it becomes skinny when you push it, and when you let go, it expands and holds two pieces of metal together. So that's what we're gonna do here. So I have the one hole drilled, so I'm gonna put it in there, voila. So when I drill another hole using that as a guide, it's gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna hold it in position and drill this guy. Speed up my drill. The panel is dead, by the way. Don't worry, the engine's not going to accidentally start starting when I short something out. Okay, so there. Two holes perfectly aligned. Let's do another one. Okay, put another Clecco in. In a second, you'll see what we're gonna do. And the last hole. Okay, last hole, but these are just pilot holes. I need a bigger hole. So let's make it bigger. I have my handy dandy step drill again that I used before. So I can go ahead and, okay, so I can go ahead and make this bigger. There we go. Hold on, let me go get a bolt to stick in the hole. Be right back. Hard to grip things with glove fingers. Okay, I'm back. So, that's clearly not big enough. So, I go one more step. Each step is 1/64 of an inch. The problem is I forgot my glasses. Getting old is hell. I'm not losing my memory, just my eyesight. Okay. I didn't get all the way through there. Okay, that went all the way through. So there we have the first hole. Let's get another one here. I always start slow. It's better to go slow than to drill a hole too big, because then you're really in trouble. Okay, there's 2 holes. And you see it assures all the holes are exactly aligned, perfect size. And the last hole. There we go.